anybody that misses out on this is going to be very disappointed that they didn't hear about it. So
Yeah.
we appreciate you helping us get the word out.
Hi, and welcome to Kelly, where we talk about life, your life and my life. And through Kelly, we hope to inspire. I have Beth Becka on the show today. You are the creator and owner of Inside Actor Studio.
Hi, happy to be here.
I'm so glad to have you. And then we have Charles Green. Charles Green, you've been on the show before, so hopefully you guys recognize him. We're going to talk about an event that you guys have coming up literally in a couple of days, and we're hoping to get this segment out by tomorrow. So that's what we're doing. So tell me about the event, and it's a silent auction and a performance.
Right.
You've got a really good cast, a lot of Atlanta actors. So tell me what's up.
Well, Kelly, first of all, thank you for having us. We really appreciate this, because I think anybody that misses out on this is going to be very disappointed that they didn't hear about it. So we appreciate you helping us get the word out. We're doing a fundraiser benefit for Renaissance Theater Project, which is a lot of folks in Atlanta, I'm sure, know Michael Cole, the artistic director there. And one of the things that I love about Renaissance is that he predominantly casts film and television actors in his productions. And he does sort of the old classic theater and all of those. He does Death of a Salesman and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and that sort of thing. And so, and he's been around a long time. Mm-hmm. And we are helping raise funds for this coming fall's season. And we reached out to Mark Fincannon, bless his heart, Mark Fincannon, casting director extraordinaire, a dear friend, and said, hey, Mark, we would really like to do a production of Love Letters, which is a play written by A.R. Gurney. And it's a two-person play. And the beauty of the play is that you don't have to memorize lines. It's two people sitting side by side, and they're reading letters that they've written to each other over the years.
Yeah.
And so Mark reached out to the cast of The Resident, and Bruce Greenwood and Jane Leeves agreed to come on board as our actors in this production. We are thrilled about that.
Yeah.
And the event is this Saturday night. So
February 15th.
February the 15th. And how do people
Love Letters,
find out?
how appropriate for Valentine's Day weekend, right?
And how do people find out? There's tickets still available?
Yes,
or?
so the $150 couples tickets, romantic couples tickets are sold out. There's still some $40 general seating. They can go to eventbrite.com, eventbrite.com, and just do a search word for Love Letters.
If you do Love Letters Benefit, because there's other Love Letters out there, but ours is Love Letters Benefit, and it'll pop right up. It's also all over Facebook. So if you go to the Renaissance Project page on Facebook, or my page, Charles' page, anybody on the board, you'll see it posted sort of all over the place.
Okay, good. And the benefits go to put on future shows and to keep the theater running. And and I want to talk about that for a minute, because people don't understand how hard it is sometimes to keep theaters running. And and a lot of it does have to do with donations and work from the community to, I'm sure you guys are putting forth effort to be part of the benefit. And it's such a beautiful thing to see, the acting community come together and keep a program going.
You should speak to this, because I know you've been in productions.
Yes, I've done Death of a Salesman and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest there. And the interesting thing about this theater, what makes it so unique from other theaters in Atlanta, is I used to do a lot of stage in Atlanta, but then when my TV film career started taking off, I couldn't do as much theater because most Atlanta theaters do not give you understudies. But Michael Cole runs this theater differently. He understands our schedules, because he too is a TV film actor as well as a stage actor.
And we've had him on before.
Yeah, he's great. And what he will do is if you do not have to book out with your agent, you can continue to audition for stuff. And if you get something, let's say during a rehearsal or during the run of the show, he will cancel that performance of the run of the show that you can go do that. It happened with me in Cuckoo's Nest. One of our actors booked something, and we just didn't do a show that Friday night.
Yeah. Wow.
And
it's just an understanding of who participates in that. Yeah.
Exactly. And that is so unusual. That is not the way.
Yeah. It even makes my mind go.
So
cancel a show.
Right.
So it means folks like me that, are pretty steadily working
Yeah.
TV film can still go back to the theater because that was my first love to begin with.
That's wonderful, and that's a need, you know, for
Right.
for working actors because theater is so important. Like
It is very important.
It's just it's you know, those of us that have done it, we have a love for it, and yes, as you get busy in your lives, you can't do it so much because it's just so very time consuming, and it has to be, you know.
I started out as a theater actor, and I miss it because I've been avoiding auditioning for anything because I don't want to be booked out for film and television. So it's really exciting to know that this is an option. Of course, I would also encourage him to do understudies so they don't have to cancel the show.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been an understudy, and I don't know if I would like to be an understudy, you know, because you don't know if you're going to get that.
Right. Yeah,
because
the hard
thing is doing all that work, and then
sometimes theaters will guarantee an understudy at least 1 or 2 performances, but that's not always the case.
Right. Yeah. Wow. So let's talk about. So did we cover everything on that?
Now let's talk about the event itself because it starts at 7:00.
Okay.
On Saturday night, and when the doors open, we've got hors d'oeuvres and beverages, and there's a silent auction.
Yes.
And we're very excited about some of the items.
Yeah.
For example, there's Jane has donated a signed script of the final episode of Frasier. Of course, she was one of the stars of Frasier.
Wow.
And Bruce is going on. He's doing an interview somewhere tomorrow.
Yeah,
which is so nice of him. As busy as they are with their shooting schedule for The Resident. They're the leads in that show. So, but the event itself, there's going to be a silent auction, and so we encourage people to show up with their credit card or their checkbook or cash in hand to bid, so that they can be the highest bidder on these items. We've got some fun stuff. We're doing things like, if you're an actor, this is going to be a really fun silent auction for you because we've got casting directors. Mark Fincannon, for example, has donated a lunch with him. So he will take up to 2 people out to lunch where you can just sit down and have lunch with Mark Fincannon and pick his brain.
Yeah, wow.
And then you've gotten some other casting directors.
Yeah, Erica Arbold, who's in Virginia, a well-known cast director. She will do a 45-minute Skype session with somebody on the industry, as well as a Raven drummer. The cast director does a lot of stuff for Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
So that's just some of the. We've got some headshot photographers. We've got tickets to Skyview Ferris wheel, the zoo.
Yeah.
Don't we just have a beautiful community here?
We do.
I mean, really, our casting directors and agents and things are so helpful with things. Like anytime you ask for, not anytime, but if they're available for panels and stuff, just so giving, so nice. So let's find out what's going on with you guys personally. We'll start with you.
Let's start with this booking machine over here.
But the women should go first.
No, this guy.
Okay, all right, Charles, what's been going on?
Let's see. The most recent things that got released was in December. It was the first time in my life that I had 2 films opening the exact same day.
How cool!
Clint Eastwood's Richard Jewell and Jumanji: The Next Level. And I have 15 projects in the can. Trying to think, the next thing that's coming out, I think, is the film Burden, which won the Sundance Audience Award a couple of years ago, and with Tom Wilkinson and Garrett Hedlund.
And when does that come out?
It comes out, I want to say, March.
Okay, we'll be looking somewhere around March. If it goes into April.
And I usually do a lot of comedic stuff, but in this one, I'm the Grand Dragon of the KKK of South Carolina.
Oh, that is different.
It's quite a different role for
Excuse me while I move away.
It took quite a bit in me to be able to. Fortunately, this character was somebody who was a real life character, so I was able to research his life and kind of understand why he was the way he was.
Right. Well, that's your job as an actor, is to understand. It's not to judge the characters, to figure out what the time in history was, what was the mindset, what do you,
family background.
And that's hard for us, because we do have judgment.
Yes.
And even afterwards, you still have judgment, but you're trying to get to the place where you can only try to understand.
Right.
And the stories are important to be told. I was in Just Mercy, but as often happens with this business, the scene that I was in was cut.
Yeah.
But I had a great day working on set with Michael B. Jordan and Brie Larson. But I played a white racist. So there was a part of me that was like, I'm very sad to not be part of this amazing project, even though I was.
Right.
But also a little bit relieved that I wasn't painted in that light. Because obviously.
Yeah. And they are stories that need to be told. I mean,
very important stories.
Over and over. I mean, because we don't want to ever, I don't think in history, I don't imagine we could ever go back to something that hideous. I think we've come so far.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I
don't know. As soon as you say
I'll read some of the newspaper and go,
sometimes it feels like we're
one step back.
Well, at least some of us have evolved a whole lot. So, and then, is that it for you? I mean,
I've got a couple other things. Jon Stewart film Insatiables coming out in May, which I'm very excited about. I'm on a Amazon limited TV series called The Underground Railroad that's based on the 2016 Pulitzer Prize winning book by Colson Peacock. That Amazon limited series will be coming out probably in the fall on Amazon.
Well, somewhere through the year we'll have you back on.
Sure.
And you can talk about all those events. So what about you, Beth?
Oh, well, one of the beauties of this relationship is that I tape his auditions and he tapes mine.
Yes.
And I because at Insight, that's one of the services that we offer at my studio. But it's so fun to work off each other because it's sort of that iron sharpening iron. And so I feel like my booking ratio has increased since he came on board. And so,
same here.
Yeah.
But for me, I've got an episode of The Outsider coming up.
On HBO.
If the editors are kind. And I don't wind up on the cutting room floor. And also an episode in a new NBC series called Council of Dads that premieres in March. I'm really excited about this project. The writing is just beautiful, and it's one of the more fun roles that I've had an opportunity to play in a long time. So,
and I taped her for that audition, and she killed it.
Wow!
I knew she was going to get this.
How excited! Even when you get cut from a scene, those of us. It hurts, but you still have the experience.
Oh yeah.
You're still gaining so much. Yeah, we want to see ourselves there, but the experience is still there, and it still helps you move forward. And you got to know a lot of people, and
you still get paid.
Still get paid
every time I'm on a set. I learn something new to bring back to my students.
Yes,
every single time.
Yes.
So. For me, I mean, it sort of blows my mind that we actually get paid to do this.
I know, it's so cool.
It's so fun.
So if you guys can give really short, because my director is waving at us that we're out of time, some advice to give to an upcoming artist.
You want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay.
You're the teacher.
Well, I would say don't get out ahead of yourself. A lot of the young actors that come to me really want a script in their hand today, and they want to be a series regular tomorrow. And I try to impress upon them that this is a marathon. It is not a sprint.
Yep.
It requires tremendous patience, and it requires tremendous skill.
And we get frustrated sometimes.
Training, right?
And we get frustrated as coaches a lot. I don't know if you do, but I'll have people that, they'll get to a certain point and they're finally like breaking out, and then they get frustrated and they quit. And you're like,
Yeah, I tell my students all the time, because I teach Meisner technique.
Yeah.
And I warn them, you're going to get to a point where you want to run screaming into the street. Don't, because that means you're just about to break through into something really exciting.
Yes. Charles, what about you?
I would say a network enough to find actors that are working fairly steadily or steadily so that you can pick their brain and find out what they did, what courses are they taking, who are they studying with.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason it's so important to have you guys on and have you talk, different actors come on and talk to people, because, I mean, you in this 10 minutes, somebody got something.
Well, and we love that you do this.
Yes,
I mean, it's
you.
so great that you are promoting the actors in this community.
Yeah,
and
I love
there's a wealth of information. Every time I watch your interviews, I'm like, oh my goodness, I just learned something.
And you're able to get so much in 10 minutes. I'm so impressed by that.
But this means that we're done, right?
We're done.
We can have
cheers.
really a reward.
Yay!
Guys, we hope that this segment educated and inspired you.